Trump supporters show up at an anti-Trump protest at CSUN. An Alabama theater won't play the Beauty and the Beast movie because of a gay character. Mexico opens immigrant defense centers at its U.S. consulates.
This is Valley View News.
Welcome to Valley View News. I'm Ashley LaRue.
And I'm Susanna Guzman. President Trump announced a new travel ban that will take effect March 16th. The revised ban removed Iraq from the list. The original executive order banned travelers from Iraq, Syria, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. The Iraqi Foreign Ministry says this is an important step to strengthen and reinforce the alliance with the U.S. The new executive order also removes the indefinite ban on Syrian refugees, but it no longer prioritizes religious minorities with refugee admissions. Lawful permanent residents known as green card holders are exempted from the ban.
The FBI is asking the Justice Department to refute President Trump's claim that the Obama administration wiretapped the Trump Tower. Trump tweeted that Obama wiretapped the tower before the election and compared this to McCarthyism. FBI sources say it would be illegal for a president to order eavesdropping of a U.S. citizen's phone. FBI Director James Comey says he is incredulous. Trump has offered no proof to back up his allegations.
Pro and anti-Trump demonstrators clashed on campus. Reporter Kealani Sarmiento has more on the story.
Say it loud, say it clear, immigrants are welcome here.
The CSUN Young Democrats were demonstrating against President Trump's policies on Muslims and illegal immigrants.
Donald Trump, go away, racist anti-gay. Hands too small, can't build a wall. This is what democracy looks like.
Even the dogs were protesting. Protester Catherine Salazar says her family deals with immigration fears every day.
You have people being deported left and right every single day. My mom doesn't even want to go outside of the house. She doesn't even want to go to school. Well, go learn English. Well, guess what? If I go to school, I might just get deported too. If I go anywhere, if I go to work.
However, not everyone agreed with the protest.
We are building the wall. The rule of law is coming back to the United States. We cannot stop it.
Trump supporters were in attendance to argue their opinion and defend his policies.
So you are correct in that, but you're ignoring the fact that there's other issues.
How do you know that? That's not true.
Hey, think of where do your parents came from? Oh, really?
I think he's a patriot. I don't think what they're making him out to be is true, a tyrant, an authoritarian bigot or anything. And so I'm just here to stand with Trump, and also a lot of the issues that are being brought up through the California Freedom Project. I want to let people know that they are wrong on some of these issues.
We want a leader, not a creepy tweeter.
CSUN student Maya Wax compares Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Hitler was elected democratically as Chancellor of Germany, promising to make Germany great again, to get the rest of the world to respect Germany. There's a lot of parallels, and he was a racist. He believed in eugenics, and he tried to eliminate the entire Jewish people, as well as many other people who he saw as imperfect. These are all groups that Donald Trump targets.
Some students wanted to cool things down with a little yoga. More than 150 people attended the Donald Trump protest. In Northridge, I'm Kealani Sarmiento.
A family from Afghanistan was detained last weekend at LAX. The family was on a connecting flight to Seattle. The father was detained at LAX for 2 days before being transferred to an Orange County detention facility. After a brief meeting, it was learned that the mother and 3 children would be transported to Texas. A U.S. district attorney has filed a restraining order to prevent the family from being taken out of state. As of last Monday, the names of the family had not been released.
Activists say they did not hear anything new about immigration in the presidential address to Congress. Valley View News reporter Jennifer Montiel has more on the story.
We are removing gang members, drug dealers, and criminals that threaten our communities and prey on our very innocent citizens.
A group of people watched President Donald Trump's presidential address to Congress at the UCLA Labor Center in Los Angeles. Attorney Cynthia Flores, who helps many undocumented families, says that people need to be prepared for any changes.
If you're at risk for deportation and you have children, you need to grant somebody the authority to take care of your children. You also need to control for as many factors as you possibly can.
They have taken advantage.
UCLA Labor Center activist RJ, who did not want his name disclosed, says there are resources available to protect people from deportation.
I am undocumented, and I think the work that we do is very important because I know how it impacts me and how it can help with, as I go on forward. And I think to be able to share those resources, to the community that I belong to. And I think that's what made me to be present in this space.
Yadira Flores was not able to watch the speech live, but she said she liked what Trump did not say.
Because I'm a DACA student, and I'm afraid that he's going to take away the DACA program, so I won't be able to continue my school. But after watching his speech online, I saw that Donald Trump is not attacking the undocumented students, which gave me some hope.
The mood was not optimistic for those at the UCLA Labor Center. In Los Angeles, Jennifer Montiel, Valley View News.
Mexico has opened 50 immigrant defense centers in the U.S. The Mexican Foreign Ministry says the centers will provide assistance and legal representation to Mexican migrants. Mexican consulates will produce birth certificates for migrants. The birth certificates help migrants with getting passports and government registrations. This comes after President Trump stepped up immigration enforcement.
A massive raw sewage spill is under investigation on some San Diego beaches. The spill was spotted along the Tijuana River estuary and Imperial Beach along the U.S.-Mexico border in early February. Imperial Beach Mayor Serge Dedina says 143 million gallons of raw sewage were discharged into the river and flowed through South San Diego, closing beaches. Government investigators say they don't know yet how long the sewage has been spilling.
Many reservoirs in California have been piling up mountain debris and beach sediment. This is crowding out space for water storage. There's no serious thought of removing the mud, sand, or gravel, but California residents continue to need more water. Other solutions have been capturing stormwater, recycling, conservation, and desalination. UC Berkeley researchers estimate about 5% of California reservoirs have been clogged by sediment, and many have lost as much as half of their storage.
CSUN's new state-of-the-art sustainability center is opening on campus in May. The center is a net zero energy building that will host all sustainable projects on campus. Director of Energy and Sustainability Austin Erickson and Professor Lorraine Lundquist discussed the center with On Point reporter Rosa Rodriguez.
What is the ultimate goal of having a sustainability center on campus?
So I think one of the bigger goals for that center is kind of a centralized location for all things sustainability on campus. It's going to be the most innovative building on our campus as well as in the CSU at this point, so it'll be a net zero energy building, meaning it's generating all of the energy it's consuming on site. It'll house our Institute for Sustainability as well as the AS recycling operations, so it's going to be kind of the hub of sustainability on campus.
And it's got lots of other cool features too, yeah. Right? Like composting toilets is sort of the most innovative thing that you might think of.
It'll be the first building with composting toilets. It has the first gray water system on campus. So water that's used in sinks will be kind of used outside of the building for irrigation. So yeah, there's...
You reuse the water that people are washing their hands with, and then it goes to the plants instead of going off to the sewer.
Yeah.
So cool. And isn't it made out of recycled, I thought there was something about the construction.
Yeah, there's a million things to do with just how it was put together. A lot of the materials that's being used to put it together are all recycled or high recycled content.
And solar panels.
Yeah.
I think that they were allowing people to adopt a solar panel if there are people out there watching that want to donate.
They also talked about ways to be eco-friendly, including reducing waste and changing your lights to LED lights to save energy. Watch the full interview this week on Point.
Human remains have been found in a Buena Park backyard. A man was digging a hole when he found the bones and alerted the police. The bones were found 3 to 4 feet deep. The homeowner says the house is about 50 years old and the bones look just as old. Investigators have not identified who the remains belong to.
The New York Police Department says tombstones damaged at a Jewish cemetery in Brooklyn were not vandalized. The investigation comes after 42 tombstones were found overturned. A New York hate crime task force says the damage was caused by lack of maintenance and environmental factors such as soil erosion. A number of Jewish institutions and cemeteries have received bomb threats and have been vandalized. Last month, over 100 headstones were damaged at a Jewish cemetery in St. Louis.
Mosques in Atlanta are receiving death threats. Last month, the Greenview Madani Center received a letter that read, "Death is waiting for you and your kind." The letter also included a picture of someone being beheaded. A week before, 3 other mosques received emails with the subject line, "Your one warning." The email told members they should plan to run or die. Local law enforcement has been notified and members have been told to be on the lookout.
A New York man under arrest for a minor charge apparently told police he had been trying to join ISIS or another extremist group. Prosecutors say the 26-year-old told authorities he was going to leave the United States and come back with an Islamic army. The suspect is now being held without bail and charged with attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization.
The U.S. Defense Department is investigating explicit photos of female Marines that were posted online. A private Facebook group called Marines United shared a link to a Google Drive folder where the photos were being saved. Officials say members of the group solicited others to post photos of women without their knowledge. The Defense Department says it is unclear how many current and former Marines are involved.
The LA County Board of Supervisors is planning to shut down marijuana dispensaries in the unincorporated areas in Los Angeles. It could cost taxpayers $25 million to carry out the plan. Since ex-board members Don Knabe and Michael Antonovich were termed out of office, the board has softened its stance on marijuana. Marijuana advocates suggest that providing clear rules would be better than getting rid of an entire industry.
California State Senator Scott Wiener is proposing to allow bars to be open until 4 a.m. CSUN reporter Kealani Sarmiento has more on the story.
Bars and nightclubs in California are open until 2 a.m., but that may change as the senator plans to keep them open until 4 in the morning. Undercover Alcohol and Beverage Control Police Sergeant Fernando Garcia says public safety is their main priority.
At that time of the morning, we now have people on their way to work, so traffic is already starting to build up. And the last thing we would want is people coming out of bars, possibly intoxicated, getting on the roadway, and being involved in more traffic collisions.
Thousands of people are exploring the LA streets every day, and businesses are booming. Bar manager Jaime Cano says that the new law can lead to increased revenue for the company.
I think it really depends on the surrounding bars. If they decide to stay open until 4, I mean, it's a competitive business. So say like a place closes at 2 a.m., you're going to get tons of spillover of all these people. And, within 2 hours, you can make like thousands of dollars.
I'm in Los Angeles, where bars, lounges, and nightclubs are the playground for adults. Although people say that Los Angeles has a fun nightlife scene, they're still thirsty for more.
Keeping things open later might be interesting.
Every week there's an event in Los Angeles bringing a premier nightlife scene, but all of which close at 2 a.m. New legislation for California to extend their last call for alcohol to 4 a.m. has yet to be decided. In Los Angeles, this is Kealani Sarmiento.
A former LAX worker has pled guilty to possession after trying to smuggle more than 2 pounds of heroin onto a jetliner. Prosecutors say James Mitchell, an employee of Airport Services, wrapped 6 packages in Christmas-themed paper back in December 2016. The smell of vinegar odor from his luggage prompted the airport police to search for hazardous materials. If convicted, Mitchell faces a mandatory sentence of 5 to 40 years in federal prison.
When we get back, we'll hear more on Measure H.
And Emma Watson.
Google has launched YouTube TV, giving television cable companies serious competition. The service will allow customers to watch programming from over 40 cable networks and shows from the ad-free service YouTube Red. YouTube TV will be available for streaming through TV, desktops, and mobile devices at a price of $35 a month. It will also feature an unlimited DVR that will never run out of space. An exact release date has not been given.
Snapchat's new success on Wall Street may lead to initial public offerings from Uber and Airbnb. Shares of Snap, which is the parent company of Snapchat, are now up by more than 50% from last week. If Snap can convince investors to keep buying its stock, experts say companies like Uber and Airbnb could do the same. Both companies have been valued over $10 billion, but they remain privately owned.
The Supreme Court has decided not to hear the case of transgender Virginia student Gavin Grimm. The decision came after the Trump administration ended an Obama guideline that allowed public school students to use restrooms corresponding to their gender identity. A federal appeals court ruled in favor of Grimm after he fought his school board decision to prohibit him from using the boys' restroom. Now, a lower court will make the decision of whether or not discrimination on the basis of gender identity is the same as sex discrimination.
Here's Leo Ibarra with our weekly entertainment news.
Thank you. Emma Watson is in the news, but not for her Beauty and the Beast remake. A British broadcaster is criticizing Watson for being hypocritical about feminism. Brewer tweeted about it after Vanity Fair put Watson on its latest cover. The Beauty and the Beast star appears in revealing white clothing throughout the spread. Watson responded to the British radio presenter by saying people have a misunderstanding of the word feminism. Gloria Steinem, who is said to be the most high-profile feminist, supports Watson. She believes women should be able to walk down the street nude and be safe. An Alabama drive-in theater is saying no to the new live-action musical of Beauty and the Beast. The theater owner says it will not be screening the feature film because of a gay character.
My salvation isn't about money. It's not about man. It's what God wants me to do.
If she is the one who'll break the spell.
Director Bill Condon says Gaston's sidekick LeFou has a gay moment in the PG-rated movie, but what that means is unclear. The gay twist might not be so new after all. Some viewers wondered about LeFou in the classic animated version that came out in 1991. The film hits theaters next Friday. Forrest Gump appeared on Saturday Night Live, but this time with some unusual characters. The comedy and variety show impersonated a political moment. Comedian and actress Kate McKinnon played Attorney General Jeff Sessions in a Forrest Gump-like scene. Sessions was in the headlines last week after admitting he met the Russian ambassador. There was no impersonation of President Trump this time around, but Putin did make an appearance.
I don't have any ties to the Russians whatsoever.
This meeting never happened.
I wasn't going to remember it anyway.
The scene also featured presidential counselor Kellyanne Conway, but in a still picture. The mock Jeff Sessions referred to her as his best good friend. Adele has tied the knot. The Hello singer confirmed her marriage during a concert in Australia. Rumors about Adele's marriage to Simon Konecki have been circulating for a while. Adele had referred to him as her husband during the Grammy Awards. They were pictured together wearing wedding bands at events in recent weeks. Congrats to the couple. That's it for entertainment. Now back to you.
When we get back, we'll hear about a new rule for athletes regarding the national anthem.
And we'll get an NBA roundup. The Texas Senate will soon make the final decision on a bill to prevent parents from suing their doctor if their baby is born with a disability. Supporters say the bill protects doctors from so-called wrongful birth suits and preserves the rights of the disabled. Opponents say they are afraid medical personnel with pro-life views will now be able to withhold information from pregnant patients about the health of fetuses, fearing those patients would seek an abortion.
A bird flu outbreak at several Tennessee chicken farms has led to more than 73,000 chickens being killed. Tyson Food Inc. does not expect its chicken businesses to be disrupted by the disease. In a statement released by the company, it added that it is working aggressively with the state and federal officials to contain the virus. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says it does not know what type of bird flu is affecting the chickens, but will wait on test results.
Among other services, Google is battling cancer. The company announced that it achieved state-of-the-art results in using artificial intelligence to identify breast cancer. Google used cancer cells provided by a Dutch university for its research, but the artificial intelligence did have some problems during the study. It falsely identified some non-cancerous cells as cancer. Google research is still underway.
Now here's Eric Sklar with more on sports.
Thanks. Jerry Sandusky, the former assistant football coach at Penn State, has been moved from a maximum to a medium security prison. Department of Corrections officials are not releasing the reason for his transfer. He was convicted in 2012 for the molestation of several boys whom he met through a charity he founded. Sandusky was sentenced to serve 30 to 60 years in prison. Former Washington wide receiver John Ross broke the record for the 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine last weekend. Ross ran the dash in 4.22 seconds, breaking the previous record held by Arizona Cardinals running back Chris Johnson. The Los Angeles native is projected to be a first-round draft pick. Ross's Pro Day on Tuesday is sure to draw a big crowd. The U.S. Soccer Federation has adopted a new policy that mandates national team members must stand for the national anthem. The new policy comes after midfielder Megan Rapinoe knelt during a pair of matches last year. Rapinoe knelt to show solidarity with former San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick. It is unclear what action would be taken if players don't follow the new rule. Atlanta United made its MLS debut last weekend against the New York Red Bulls. 55,000 strong came out to support their new team. They only had to wait about 25 minutes to get their first goal. Yamil Assad scores his first career MLS goal from about 30 yards out. The Red Bulls did spoil the debut, however. In the 82nd minute, an own goal given up by Atlanta secured the victory for New York. Atlanta takes on Minnesota United tomorrow in a matchup between two first-year expansion teams. The NBA is quickly nearing the end of the regular season. It was a playoff atmosphere when the Phoenix Suns took on the Boston Celtics in our game of the week. Straight to the fourth quarter with Boston down 1. Isaiah Thomas at the top of the key drives to the hole and scores to take the lead 101-100. 9 seconds to go. Eric Bledsoe on the left goes up and under with the finish to tie the game at 106. 4 seconds left. Isaiah Thomas dribbles the ball off his foot.
A chance to win. Ulis! Unbelievable!
And in our moment of the week, Golden State's Steph Curry moved into 10th place all-time in three-pointers. Curry started off slow but hit the milestone early in the third quarter. He moved past Chauncey Billups after hitting 5 threes against the New York Knicks. Curry is less than 200 three-pointers away from cracking 2,000 for his career. The marquee matchups for this weekend are the San Antonio Spurs hosting the Warriors and the Cavs hitting the road against the Houston Rockets. That's all for sports. Now back to you.
LA County voters got a chance to cast their ballots this week for a measure that officials say will help end homelessness. Officials say nearly 47,000 people are considered homeless in LA County. The Los Angeles County Sales Tax for Homeless Services and Prevention, Measure H, proposes a sales tax to help homeless people transition into affordable housing. The bill proposes a quarter-cent sales tax increase to raise an estimated $355 million a year for 10 years.
Most of the plastic toys purchased in the United States are made in China, but a company in Michigan has been making plastic dollhouses, kitchen sets, and trucks for 55 years. John Jessert, the CEO of American Plastic Toys, says it is easier to manufacture in China, where employee regulations don't exist. He says keeping his factory in the U.S. helps Michigan and allows him to maintain good quality and integrity. The company employs more than 300 workers in its 5 facilities, working on a 24-hour weekday schedule. The company provides health care and saving plans.
Hello Kitty rolled into Northridge. Valley View reporter Julia Espinoza has the story.
Hundreds of Hello Kitty fans arrived at the Northridge Mall for the day-long mobile cafe visit. Most businesses are located in stores and online, but Hello Kitty has a mobile unit that sells food and memorabilia, including water bottles, t-shirts, and mugs. These tote bags were given free with a minimum purchase of $25.
This is really great to see the community out and the kids and everybody's enjoying themselves, and the stuff is really adorable, and it's not something you can get locally.
Fans waited 2 to 3 hours hoping to purchase the merchandise, but most didn't seem to mind.
It was totally worth it. It was totally worth it.
During the wait, children played in the center quad and fans snapped pictures. Hello Kitty was first introduced 42 years ago primarily for children, but that's changed.
Now people realize that it's not just about kids stuff, that everyone can love it, and I think that's what's great is like you look around here and there's people of all ages, races, like everyone's here.
At least one person came here but had ulterior motives.
I don't like Hello Kitty, but I was just here for the snacks.
Fortunate for Hello Kitty fans, the Hello Kitty Cafe truck is scheduled to travel throughout numerous locations in both the East and West Coasts. In Northridge, this is Julia Espinosa reporting for Valley View News.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Ashley LaRue.
And I'm Susanna Guzman.